first and foremost, the biggest question on my mind is who's taller, you or Trace?
Actually, years ago, we toured together, and it was so funny. He always wears those great big tall heels, like, I wear roper heels so I don't hit my head on door facings and stuff. And he also wears a big old tall crown hat. And so I just always thought he was, a little bit taller than me. And they asked us to come in one day and do these T-shirts for the tour where we would both be on the same T-shirt, right?
Right.
So they're doing photos, and they got us changing out in and out of different clothes and stuff. And so there he stands in his sock feet with no hat on. And I stood up beside him, and I'm kind of looking at him like this, just messing with him because he's an old curmudgeon, And he goes, "Shut up, Worley." And so I've made sure to tell everybody since then that I'm just a wee bit taller than Trace.
Well, you've never met Darryl. Both of them are pretty darn tall, but 6'6"?
I'm almost 6'7", and my daughter gets mad because I don't just say 6'7". She says, "You're supposed to round up, Dad." And, but I just say 6'6", because that's weird. I'm 6'6.5". Then people start thinking, man, he's making sure that he's 6'6.5".
Trust me, it's a lot more pathetic when you're somebody like me and you're rounding up from 5'11.5" to 6 foot. And at some point you feel like you're a liar and you just can't take credit for 6 foot.
My brother says that he didn't quite make 6 foot, and he just goes 5'11", and he really is like literally like an eighth of an inch from 6 foot. And he goes, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to claim it. I don't want it. How are things going? In your world. I mean, obviously with the Gaylord Oprlyland thing, it's got to be a blast.
I tell you, we've just got a lot of stuff going on that I never dreamed of, and this Gaylord Oprlyland thing is one of those. And that thing out there is, I've been using this word. This is new, but I truly mean this. It's magical. It is magical. And my daughter, my wife, they don't see me in this atmosphere very often. And once I got in there and got comfortable with, exactly what it is that we're doing, we've turned it on, and people are loving this show, and it's multifaceted. We celebrate every different level of Christmas. We were up front. We talked to them about, what this was supposed to be. And I said to them, I don't do Christmas without Christ. That's a big deal for me, and they were totally cool with that. And it's just we have, I'll give you a little rundown on the music. We have literally original Christmas songs that I wrote over 20 years ago. We have the classic Christmas songs. We have Darryl Worley hit songs. We have music that no one's ever heard before that's going to be out this coming year. And then, like I said, the show takes a spiritual turn toward the end, and it's a huge ending with a really great message for Christmas. So there you go.
That sounds awesome.
It's cool,
that's
man.
really good. Well, we'll talk about that. I want to ask, just having you in studio, there's 1,000 different questions to ask you, but, are you happy? This might be a difficult one. I don't want to cause controversy, but are you happy with the way that country music is going?
Oh, I hate it. Maybe you should just go ahead and open that can of worms. But let me tell you this, man.
Should we do this interview if he's going to censor himself?
Right. If you're not going to answer the questions, Darryl, come on, man.
Let me tell you this, though. I should be on my knees just giving thanks because of what's going on in my world, if you will. Things have changed for us like you would not believe over the past year and a half. And the things that are happening for us right now because of the state of country music, I am so thankful that it went there, because my career, it's like I'm starting over.
Right.
And I never saw this coming. People have been screaming, it's going to come around. It's going to come around at me for 25 years. And I went, yeah, I've been hearing that for a long time, and I don't know how much of that I believe. But guess what? Now there's other people believing that, like record labels and booking agencies and show buyers. They're actually seeing it happen. And I just didn't think that was going to come about. And so,
and these are young, and I don't want to speak for you and your shows, but these are younger people. These are people that are longing for old school country music.
We just left a different interview segment, and that was what we talked about, and they were talking about the demographics, and now it's showing up in that younger group of people, and it's even visible at the shows. I mean, some of the things that I've experienced, I'm like, you're not looking for this, but you say something to the effect to kind of let them know up front that you're a little bit more from the old school. So what you're going to get a taste of today is a little more of a traditional country kind of a show, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know how you feel about the new stuff. Boo! And I'm going, are you kidding me? And so it's just, I don't know, man. I did not, like I said, I didn't see this coming, but I'm not complaining about it. So
when you were first coming up and making your bones and making a name for yourself, who did you look to? I mean, not to emulate, but who did you look up to?
Well, I mean, I was influenced by the truth of the matter is, so I'm older, and my first record deal came when I was 35 years old. They thought I was 25 years old, and that's the God's honest truth. When I got signed in 2000, or not 99, when I got signed, nobody 35 years old was getting record deals. I promise you that. And I really came to town.
Was it 2000 when you got signed?
Yeah. I was the guy that did 90s country in the 2000s. Seriously. That's kind of sort of my MO, and DreamWorks was incredibly powerful at that time, especially the promotion staff, and they took those songs and they worked hard with me. I worked like a dog, but they worked hard with me, and we made them happen. Eventually, this new stuff we're talking about kind of, it plowed me under, but we knew at some point we wouldn't be able to hold out, but I'm telling you, so I'm doing stuff with Big Machine here now. That's the exact same people that was running DreamWorks at the time. So I'm right. It's like I come full circle. And I mean, honestly, it's just really exciting right now what's happening. And I see some of the change in the way it's leaning now. And I was the last one to see it because I didn't believe it was going to happen. But anyway.
So a good interviewer would know the answer to this, but I don't. So, I mean, what did you do? I mean, were you just grinding until you got the deal? I mean, you're just in the clubs, you're just doing the thing you're grinding about?
Well, me and this lady right here, this is my manager, Julianne Drennan, and she's worked like hell to make this just stay alive. And I have other skills. I'm a biochemist. There's other things that I could go do and make a living.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You're a biochemist?
I am a biochemist.
That's pretty badass in and of itself.
I don't like talking about that a whole lot because, I get those things like.
I'm not going to give you a COVID-19 question.
Can country music people really be biochemists?
You're like that actress that's actually a neuroscientist, whoever I forget who she is. She's like, seriously, I'm a neuroscientist. I'm not kidding.
Are you following the Brian May School of Music?
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Because Brian May's got a PhD in astrophysics.
Brian May, guitarist Queen.
I think I heard that.
That's pretty cool.
And you're thinking of Mayim Bialik.
Right.
Yeah, the neuroscientist or whatever she is. So, yeah,
I just never, once I got the opportunity to do this, which, to be perfectly honest with you, when I came to town, I didn't think the artist thing was ever going to happen.
How old were you when you came here?
About just before I turned 30. But
but before then, early on, I mean, like when you were 18, 19, 20, I mean, did you I want to be a country music star, or did it not occur to you?
When I got out of college, I was going to come right back. I was going to take a year off and come right back to and go to med school. I did well on. I had a really incredible grade point average, and I did well on the MCATs, and so I was getting ready to start applying, and I started writing songs. I had always written songs, but I started getting really serious with it, and I always had a band. We always played music, and so coming out of college, I thought, well, I'll throw some of these songs at some of these publishers. I mean, I got nothing to lose, and then I'll get on with med school, and people started to bite on my songs pretty quick. I mean, they said, man, some of this stuff is good. Who'd you write it with? I was like, write it with? I wrote them by myself because I didn't know anything about co-writing. So, I never made it back to med school. And I'm thankful for that because it was a dream that, it's one of those things where if you don't try it, you never know. And
how different was it, or was it different 25 years ago versus today in Nashville? And, and I'll give you an example. My wife and I, when we had first gotten here, we went down to Leaper's Fork down at Fox and Lock, right?
Sure.
And I'd been here a year before she got here, so I kind of knew the lay of the land. And we're at lunch. It's on like a Thursday, and there's a young guy sitting up there singing, and he's good.
Yeah.
He's really good. And my wife, I love her to death. She's a little naive. She goes, man, he's going places. This guy's going to get that. This guy's good. And I said, honey, you might be right. I said, but there's 1,000 of this guy.
Oh, more like 1 million.
They're every. Was it like that 25 years ago?
Well, it was. I'll tell you this. The week before I knew that my deal was going to be final at DreamWorks, I was in a doctor's office, and I picked up this magazine. It was the Nashville Scene or something, It's a pretty official type magazine, and I was reading it, and it had an article in there about young men and women pursuing major label deals in Nashville, and it had an odds in there that you're, I think, 10 times more likely to be struck by lightning than to get a major label recording contract in Nashville at this time. This was, like I said, 25 years ago. And I did those numbers. That wasn't too hard. And I thought, man, I'm really blessed to have this opportunity to do this, especially at my age. And so, I've always known that there was a reason. And I honestly believe that we've been through all that we've gone through to get to now. Because I was trying as hard as I could to get on that train that came through. You asked me about influences. That's how we got started on all this. That train that came through in the late 80s and the early 90s was Randy Travis, and it had Clint Black and Alan Jackson,
George
Garth Brooks and George Strait, and all the, and then obviously my influence, a lot of them came before these guys. But those were the guys that I'd said, that's what I want to do right there. That's the kind of music. That's the whole deal. And I didn't make that train. If I'd have made that train, you might not be talking to me right now.
I'm small taters. What is it intimidating? You first did the Opry soon after your record, your first record. When did you first do the Grand Ole Opry? Early 2000s?
Yeah. It was in 2000.
Was it intimidating?
I didn't know any better. I went out there. It was a weird thing that happened that night. I said, there's so much I want to say and so much I want to do. I wanted to play like more songs than they asked me to play. And they said, well, of course you can't do that. You have to do what they ask you to do. And that's it. When we got out there, believe it or not, I had written a song for that night. It's called Borrowed Wings. Tonight I'll fly on borrowed wings, because of all the other people who've graced that stage, you just feel that going in, And so, we got there and they said, this is, a lot of people don't know this. They came up to me and they said, Marty Stewart was supposed to be there at night. Something happened to his bus just right outside of Nashville, and he wasn't going to make it there. And they said, could you fill in like an extra, say, 10 minutes? I said, can I? I said, that's playing right into my hands. And I got to sing all 3 songs I wanted to sing and talk and say the things I wanted to say that night. And we didn't do a whole band. There was 3 of us with acoustic guitars, some good harmony and those songs. And that was my first opera. Jeannie Seeley introduced me that night. She came out to my show the other night, and I reminded her of that.
What a treasure she is.
Yes.
We listen, my wife and I love driving around on the weekends and listening to Jeannie on Sirius XM on Willie's Roadhouse. It's so good.
Absolutely.
So good. And now, full circle, here you are right across the street at the Gaylord Oprlyland, headlining the big Christmas spectacular. What about that, man?
Well, these guys here pitched that for a long time, and I don't know that it would have ever happened without their efforts, because I'm just out there working. But yeah, you said it earlier, we ground it out, and now some things are happening, and this is one of them. Man, I said a prayer maybe a year and a half ago, and I didn't ask for money. I didn't ask for more fame or whatever. I didn't ask for any of that stuff, because I've already seen what that stuff can do to you. I said, let some things happen. Lord, let some things happen that would show my daughter, my 15-year-old daughter, what her daddy used to do. What all that means. And you know, I told my wife, I said, I've held her up in front of 20,000 people, but she don't remember that. And so
that's pretty
boom,
cool.
this Christmas thing happened. It's like that's why I say magical. It's like a dream come true. She started coming out to our rehearsals because she wants to sing in a couple of nights at my show, and she's going to. I hope some people get lucky and get to show up on that night because it's really special. Cool. But she told her mom one night when they left the rehearsal hall, they were going home. She goes, "Mom, this is for real, isn't it? I didn't realize." And because she heard us rehearse the last number, which is a pretty big moment in the show. And she goes, "I didn't know that Dad could do that." And her mom's like, "Well, honey, I've been trying to tell you." She goes, "He's a pro."
she just thought you're some dude that used to was. Right?
Well, no, she thought I'm just a honky tonk player, and that's all. I said, "Yeah, I do that too." But I just think it's magical because she's starting to see this, and yes, we're out there. Gaylord gave me this opportunity to share, you know, what I think of as my ultimate Christmas. And I'm telling you, Christmas was big at my house. We didn't have this like over to the top stuff, but we had necessities. But Christmas time was big because Mom and Dad wanted to instill a lot of things in us that come at Christmas time, and they made Christmas big so we would remember this. Mm-hmm. And that's how they did it. And it was a successful venture on their part. And so I get to take that Christmas spirit that I'm talking about, and I get to share it with people from all over the globe. And I could never thank Gaylord enough for that opportunity. It's just been amazing. And, we won't want it to end, even though I usually take the whole month of December off. This has just been over the top.
We're going to talk about opportunities for you to get tickets in just a moment. I have to do this. I have to pay some bills. Otherwise I get in trouble. Darryl Worley is our incredible guest. 224 at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back after this. Matt Murphy and you, more importantly, Darryl Worley is here talking about his Gaylord Oprlyland event, this Christmas spectacular. What do we call this? Christmas spectacular?
It's called Darryl Worley and Friends Home for the Holidays.
Well, there you go. How can we get, before I forget, because I'm prone to do so, how can we get tickets? How can we find out more about it?
You read that website. It's right in front of you somewhere there.
I bet it is.
Tell me what it is, guys. It's
Christmas at GaylordOpryland.com.
Christmas at GaylordOpryland.com. That's a mouthful. I didn't come up with that, but here's the deal. So
if you type in Gaylord Oprlyland Darryl Worley, I promise you get
it'll pop up.
Yeah.
So we do have just a couple quick things I want to mention. These are like discounts, and I was so thankful that Gaylord, you know, helped us get this in place. For all of our veterans and military connection people, if you're buying tickets, you type in that it's just the word military is your special code to get you $20 off your tickets. Same thing with first responders. Type in hero and you'll get $20 off your tickets. And then outside of that, everybody can buy tickets. You can get VIP tickets. There's every different level of tickets. Come to the show, a different guest every week. We've had the Isaacs and Dina Carter. This week is Andy Griggs and Billy Gilman, and then next week's Billy Dean, and then we got Lori Morgan, and then Andy Griggs comes back for a few nights. So
sweet. It's
pretty cool the way everybody's rotating in and out, and I'm telling you, it's a great experience. When we first got out there, I was a little bit, you know, we're honky-tonking most of the time and playing fairs and festivals. So that this environment was just a bit different for me. We took us one night to figure it out. The shows are going incredible. I mean, I'm like Dean Martin up there, man. It's going good. And we are really having fun. We usually, like I said, I take the month of December off to hunt with my daughter, and we hunt and fish the whole time. And this is the first time in a long time that I've done it.
Is this what y'all go Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
We play our last show on Christmas Day.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's got to be a special. That's got to be one of the more special ones. I mean, on the day.
I don't even know yet. This will be my first time. But, you know, we started off on Thanksgiving Day. And you know that I would have never believed this, but that was one of our biggest crowds yet.
Nice.
And I just thought people would be at home.
Right.
But it's amazing. And I'm truly grateful for this opportunity. And when I said, you know, I came up with the word magical, I meant it. There's something that has happened to me during this time. It's just a special event, and it's very heartfelt, and I think people leave there with a great message. So,
Well, you're a great messenger to send it.
Thank you.
And man, dude, we appreciate your time. Come back anytime you want.
Thank you.
Tell your brother to come back anytime he wants.
I'll bring him sometime.
Yeah, come on, anytime. Our door's
hey, Tom,
always
we're
open.
listening to you too, man.
Darryl, it's been an absolute joy. I wish
Thank
it'd go
you.
on forever. And best of luck with the event. You don't need luck.
Thank you, man.
Because you got the skills to pay the bills. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother.
There's Darryl Worley. Go and get tickets. The website again, it's Gaylord. Hold on, I lost it. Dadgummit. Look at me. Christmas at GaylordOpryland.Marriott.com. I don't think I have to put in the Marriott, but it's up here. I mean, it's right there. I'm looking at it. Christmas at GaylordOpryland.com for more information.
Fox noted.